Recording in progress.
You don't have to feel, you don't have to be. It's simply, you want to get to a place where there's no chumetz left. You want to get to a place where you're just feeling because this is who you are. Not because for something or for someone or because of something not to happen. You're doing it because what's my vibration? Who am I? What am I? Who am I? That is called Vekas, that is called the Chidush of the Nefesh. And Pesach, you don't have to do nothing. Just do we gotta work. There's stuff going on out there. And Nisan Shchol Shishma Pesach, it's coming. You have to do nothing. Is it recording? Because I didn't even record it. It's recording from the beginning. Yeah. We do not have to do nothing. The only thing we have to do is to learn how to surrender. How do I learn how to surrender? If I know all my life a certain way of thinking and I've been experiencing a certain level of pain, I don't even know that it hurts because this is just part of my existence. We all have places of numbness that you are numb because of whatever happened to you. Energetically, there's a numbness, not physically. Whatever happened to you physically, what really happened to you physically? Nothing. Somebody said something to you. I didn't say something to you. In a very severe case, they did something, yes, that's true also. That may be easier to get rid of than the one that was just hurt emotionally because then you're not even aware that something happened. You're just walking around with very low conscience, thinking that you're not good, thinking that you're with depression and all anxiety and all that good stuff. So we become aware of that by getting into the body, feeling where the pain is, feeling where you're feeling the resistance. All right, everybody here has done a little work, so it's about going into the body, feel where you're feeling the resistance. And that place that it hurts, you have two choices now. You can either try to resolve it and go through the whole process and, good 5 to 10 years, depending on how deep it is. I'm exaggerating. Fine, 1 year. It's a 20-year process at the end of the day. Because you have to go through the anger, the victim, the aggression, and then the hustle, whatever, the whole thing, until you realize that you can just let it go because there's nothing to process. You're trying to figure out the cheshbonos, but you don't need to do that. You can just simply go to a place where you just release it. You don't feel it anymore. Present. Because as long as you're holding out, as long as you're thinking about it, you're giving it life. It's your own, you are your own enemy. We see ourselves in the mirror, and I don't know where to let go because I'm stuck. I don't know where to let go. But if I just let go, then it's gone. It says the Alter Rebbe in Tanya, and it will not come back unless you start triggering it again, but whatever. That's the process. So Pesach is a time where feel where the pain is. Where are you hurt? You feel like a loser. You feel like you're not good. You feel any judgment that you have, become aware of it and feel it. And then chumetz, it goes out. It's done. Right? Nishtru amalach, nishtru asurav, aniyach ba'atzmi. There's no lens in between of the awareness that we're getting on Pesach night. There's no lens in between. In other words, it drills straight through because exactly where the illusion starts. Split here, where the illusion of Pare starts. That's where he cracks it, Makas B'chodesh, and you get planted, the consciousness gets planted with a new seed. Now, but you got planted with a seed last year too. So the question is what's happening over there? That's all the hood. So the simple answer is that listen to this. And that's going to line up with the question of Baking Matzah. Well, we're still coming to how. What's the point? The simple answer is that it only happened once. It only happened once. We're just put in with this case. We're just put into time, and we keep going deeper and deeper and deeper with that aligning. We're waking up to that. So it's not a New Year Pesach. It's because we can tap into Pesach all year, right? There's the tunnels. It's you can talk about all the time. It's got the and also, I think that's somewhat of an answer to we're baking matzah while there's still chumetz. Anyways, So I guess, yeah, it's consciousness. It's the lens that we see it through. Fine. Let's go talk about salt. So this part is good. Now let's talk about what happens. How are we getting rid of the stomachs? What is happening? What is happening? You only want to know what's happening emotionally, energetically. Nothing's really happening physically. Just a bunch of nervous people, nervous, burnt out, and just that's all that's happening on the ground. Because that's what it looks like when Atzilus shows up in Welt. How else is he going to show up? So the people are going to be this, that, busy. So you want to go in emotionally, energetically, what is happening. Matzah, what is matzah? Let's get grounded for a minute. Close your eyes. Relax the thoughts, the mashova, let it be. Relax your chest, relax your stomach, your hands. You're present, take a deep breath in. Mouth open, exhale out. Becoming mindful and aware that the only thing that really takes place, the action is happening in the spine, the cardiovascular system, that's the electricity, that's where you breathe in, that's where it's all going on. So you can let go of everything else. So, fine. Get back here. Eyes closed. The lights are on anyway, so I'm not in that space anyways. It's like 2 eyelids in my eyes. Okay. I like it. It's good. Everybody can see what goes down behind the scenes. Right? So, matzah. We're tapping into, we'll do a quick chazurim. We're tapping into Chachma. Chachma is tippus moichav. It has no reason. It's completely, it's like a yesh ma'ayin. It's completely bittul. He communicates with Kesed. There's an antenna coming out from Chachma that goes into Kesed. And he knows how to translate that. Chachma knows how to translate that because he has bittul. He understands that he can be Makash Machafta Shalom Shalom. I can be here, I can be there, I can be anywhere. And I believe it because he's beyond logic. He's in that space. So we have to bring it into Bina, we have to bring it into Malchus, bring it into Welt. We need to bring that level of awareness, that level of mindfulness, that level of presence. We have to bring it into Welt, into separation. Okay, so your life is fragmented, bring it together. Now, what is the only thing that can capture this level, this type of frequency here in Welt? Like if it was anything else, we need to find something that has zero ego, it has nothing. Just pay attention. We need to find something that has the coding, because we need to bring it on over here, touch it with the hands. We'll get into that too, the connecting with the Welt. So what happens is that the matzah is when this level of consciousness lands into Welt, just the way the sukkah lands in an esrog, for whatever reason, because he just talks about it, case it, and because it makes no sense, right? Because it can be on the tree all year. Anyways, what comes down, and that is Makifim, the Bina Kesed for that program, what comes down from what this tippus moichav looks like when he goes, our consciousness gets reborn. When it comes into Welt, it looks like a matzah. What is a matzah? A matzah is when you eat bread, it's like when you press the dough, it talks back to you. It inflates, right? So it rises, it interacts with you. When you eat that, what happens is it does that. It keeps triggering you. That's why if you're on a healthier diet, you won't have so many temptations. If I eat a big fat steak, I'm going to feel different if I eat a big fat skinny salad. Just think about the energy. Okay, so we eat the bread, and that starts playing with us. It triggers. Why put me into this matzah b'chalav? Why should I eat bread? Because we have an avodah, we have something. This is our job. We are bringing in the representatives of this. We have received the Torah. We are representatives of this high consciousness, which is called the Bashafra, the Creator. And He, through us, we are His messengers over here to bring His light and His truth into this world, into Olam Asiyah, into Klippus Noiga, into Eitz Adas Toivera. There's gift and there's gift, both sides. Okay. So we're bringing a bitter to this. So that's why we have to go down. We get down and dirty. We eat that food, and this is how we process. Now, matzah, when you eat matzah, think about what it does to your stomach. I get it. I know that we spoke about it. The stomach gets upset. That's to show how far we are when we need to be. Okay. That's the best answer I can answer here in Genesis.
It doesn't have to be. That was last year.
Yeah, good. So I'm saying this year we're much closer, of course. Or go for spelt, eat a different wheat, and you have a different program. You have a different, a different edelkeit, a different response, a different behavior. Every behavior is differently. So it's fine. Really, it's totally fine. You're into the. I appreciate it, but it's fine. I'm already one. Yeah, let's try. Let's see. I think I'm good, anyways. Things are going well. So the kids are so now we are in the matzah. What does the matzah do? Now the same thing that the bread, the challah, does for you energetically in your stomach, what you're feeling, you get bloated and all that, that's all energetic. There's stuff happening. That's really what's happening. The same thing, matzah will trigger the same thing in a different way, which means that matzah doesn't have an ego. It doesn't rise. It doesn't ask any questions. When you poke it, it doesn't respond. He takes it in. He stays present. The dough doesn't rise. There's no yesher. There's nothing. There's no ego in that thing. So when we eat that, Pesach night, we draw down from something we can finally respond to a consciousness that we're not going to get in our own way. My own ego is not going to get in my way because I'm on a different diet. It's a different type of Torah. Now, that thing is, Chachma talks to Keser because Chachma has bittul. Now, we need something that's going to bring complete bittul into this world. How are we going to do that? So let's go over here. Yeah, it's several times. We're not several times. I think we're good. Yeah, no, let's sing it in. That's it? Okay. I started off like that. That's all me. See, I didn't put the right attention. All right. Fine, we're singing. So, okay, let's go. Now, pay attention to this. This is the matzah. This is what we're going to be doing here tonight when you go bake the matzah. It's a beautiful piece from the Alter Rebbe. It's a beautiful piece from the Alter Rebbe. and I went to the Shabbos. And first I learned it. In other words, it's single piece. So anyways, so the one got the author asked the question, why don't we put salt in the matzah? Why don't we put salt in the matzah? You have to understand something, that Chassidus is very playful, and it gets as childish as the Eibush wants it to get. They're going to ask any class question. They're like, really? Why don't we put salt? Why don't we put salt? Because I don't put salt. Why? You have nothing better to do? No, I want to know why you're not putting salt in the matzah. When everything in the Torah has to have salt, every carbon with Sadris Melech, every carbon has to be brought with Melech. Everything is with salt. Why all of a sudden the matzah no salt? Now what does salt do? Salt brings shulam. Salz macht shulam. It brings peace. How does it bring peace? Because when you take a piece of meat, first let's go simple. When you take a piece of meat without salt, when you put salt in it, the steak, the flavor comes out. Without the salt, it's dead. So it brings peace. Now, what does it mean? How does it bring peace? What's God for energetically? What's happening here in color and spheres? What's happening over there? It's such a interesting piece. It's so many layers to it, but we'll go to the end. But I want to just build it a little bit so we understand. First with the taste, and then we'll go to the okay. Salt brings out the taste. Salt also brings out the blood from the behemoth. You have to salt the behemoth, otherwise it's not kosher. So salt is, what does salt do? Salz is gemacht von Eis und Mayim. It's water and fire. The water is that when the sun beats on the water, it dries out, it turns into fire, it turns into salt. Right. Fine. So fire and water, both of them are from Chachma. Okay? So you have Wasser is Chesed, which is from Chachma. Chasudim comes from the Kavinim. And fire is Chachma is the Shemesh. Fire is from the Geviras of Chachma. Fire is from the Geviras of Chachma. All right, let's go inside. Can you imagine yourselves with shaman? They in Esikator, Chita, Chobes Aswan, that I said, Silcha Melech. They pass the Melech, Turtle pass who limit Anigos and Mishla Kam of Melech, Turtle, Mikroigus canal. So you have the matzah is made out of Chita. Chita is 22 Chov Beis. Es kann make it Chov Beis oisies. A kind can not only reden einmal as Chita. Before as Dugan kann nicht reden. But was macht dann Dugan reden? Weil Dugan is das. It's Kim Chachma because it has no flavor, it has no taste. When I can't read Zukfan Tati, a client can't Zuk Tati, he doesn't understand that why he's calling him Tati. He just says Tati. It's innately from inside, from within, he calls him Tati. But he doesn't understand everything that goes into Tati, that Tati is protector, supply, gives him food and gives him everything. He just says Tati because this is innately as to what he knows. This is what he knows. He doesn't need a reason for it. He's pure. He's not in his head yet. He just his calling from within. He responds to that. The Dagan creates that. The matzah is also chita, and the chita, because it has no fat, it has no ego in it. There's no, it's not, it didn't rise. So that creates within us that we can say Tati without any reason. So there's two things happening. First, it's moich on the katnas, because I don't really understand what Abish there is, but I'm calling him Tati. But from the other hand, it bypasses every other system that would be in your way of getting in between you and your logic as to why Abish there, what do I believe, but I have so many other things going on, so many conscious. That is when you're going into Das Elm. When you're in Das Tach, when you're saying Tati, this is Man Tata, because I'm feeling it. I don't need any explanation. That is the power. That's the koyach of Pesach. That's Michael the Menusa. It wakes up the Amin. Okay, so that is Dagan. That is the Tinnik, and we are B'ni B'chari Yisrael. We're born on Pesach night, so we're the little Tinnik, and then we have 49 days of processing that growing. So then when we say Abba, Tati, and when in Shriyas, in Keser, we have a language. We know we put in the work, and you're receiving the Zayah because you know how to communicate. Now. Chita. So the reason, let's go first for what the Alter Rebbe is saying, is simple. The reason that we don't put Zaltz in, because Zaltz is not something that is a mushlim. When I want to complete something, that's when I put in the Zaltz. In the flesh, and I put less in the flesh, like Zaltz, to bring through the taste. Over the matzah, we're not coming from a place of completion. On the opposite, we're coming from a place of complete surrender. We're coming from a place of complete bittul. I want to say brokenness. Broken. Yeah, broken. You come from a place of brokenness. Yachad. It's a berechtes and how. So that's why we're not putting the salt, because we want to come in from as the matzah, and from that place we are waiting to receive, like a child is waiting to receive from his father without any. We're just like completely dependent, like it's a full body experience. Yeah.
The broken sound of the word, the halfness.
Halfness. That's always, I don't say brokenness, but for those who are already in the word, fine, the brokenness. But to somebody that think that was on Tzipap and Tzipap, that's not what it is. No, for sure not. That's exactly not what it is. Okay, so I want to use the illusion that Alter Rebbe is using over here because it's a very nice. Here you go. Hine perish leil shimurim hal derech shamel lenukva. Hine masha makabel mamtim utzapel miyachel lemeshpike uni hat soife mabet musa yitan abalabais v'yudem ime. Kumashkusa v'savim laska zakasim Shabbos. So basically, you are leil shimurim is that you're being over shumur esaduve, like you're hoping, you're waiting for the thing, like you're waiting for that candy, you're waiting for the matzah from the child is waiting for that. They let him have a lettuce already, right? It's that type of. That's where you want to be with that. That's why we're not putting in salt. To show that not to keep it, it's that intentional, and everything has that much meaning into everything, which means that it's a full body energetic experience. It's distracting. So you don't want to be in your head. This is the Torah is telling you. This is Hasidus. This is Torah's Mashiach. They tell you exactly. It's the Basham Torah that tells you where you need to be in the body. If you want to go out of Mitzrayim, we're dealing here without the salt. I'm coming from a place where I'm not. I'm coming from a place that I'm eating the matzah. Energetically, the matzah is giving me the koyach to tap into something that I can be fully present and surrendered. That's what it is. It's fully present and surrendered. Emunah is fully present and surrendered. That's emunah. I'm not worried. I'm very responsible. I'm not worried. That's the koyach that the matzah gives you. Now think challah, bread, and then think matzah. Okay? Now let's go to the intention of the matzah was made from the first second. It's the most intentional bread, the highest consciousness bread ever. Shamatzah mitzvah is shmirim shas ketzira, and then the ganze process. So now salt is fire and water. Fire and water, salt brings out, it cooks out the potential of everything. It cooks out the potential of everything. It brings everything into shlemus. Okay. We take the wheat, the chita, which is the flour, the meal, ווייס oisius. We put in water to it, which is the first part of the sun, the first part of the salt, and then we put it into the oven, which is the second part of the salt, which means that you have now the source of salt in the matzah, not the breakfast salt, the koil, the energy of the salt, which is the fire and the water. And what does it cook? The ווייס oisius, which is the flour. Okay. And then we eat that, and our body becomes the fire, it becomes the salt. There's no hummus, it starts burning itself, and it starts processing the ווייס oisius. Infinite possibilities, change, any type of change can happen, because you have the language, you have the oisius. Now the 10 fingers. Ha'chasudam ha'geviris, connected to das. Das is ha'chasudam ha'geviris. The rechte hand is the kav yamin, which is the kav of chasudam. The kav shmal is the kav from the geviris. We're bringing in atzilus in Welt. It's as, I don't know if you grasp, if you have what we're talking about over here. We're talking about that anything and everything that happens Pesach Nacht this is what's going on in Atzilus. It's one, we're one with this, with our Eibishter. Everything you're doing, you're one with it. That's what spills up in Atzilus, on that level. But we need to bring it into Welt. It's distracting. I thought he wouldn't finish it, but then he didn't. Okay. We're bringing it in with the Eser Koiches. These, the hands, the fingers are connected. This is the energy body. You have the Hefsut and the Hegeviris, the ganze Parashpil, the ganze Mitzrayim, all your troubles, alle deine Probleme, Heitzachun is endigt because you are disconnected. Kuras. Man hängt beim Gehör. And that's where Paro is right there, puts you under pressure, and you can't connect. So you think something, and then by the time it makes it down to your heart, the file is corrupted. And then your heart starts lusting, and it runs, and you can't control yourself. But once you have Das, and you're not anymore stuck at the bottom, but it's very simple. You're the eagle. Now you're looking. It's very simple. Do I want to go into the mud, into the slump over there, or to the right? Nobody's going to punish me. It's goonish. You are punishing yourself. Where do you want? You want right or left? Oh, it's simple. I'll go to the right. What's that a pen? What do I need this for? It's very simple. I want to be happy. Yeah, good. But until now, you were in Das Tachten. You couldn't see. You saw this big fence in front of you. So it was being blind. It's the gelaufen. By the time of the file, you're thinking something. It comes down here. But all you saw is this. And now you had no chance against the temptation. Pesach Nacht, there is new Das. Pesach Nacht, there is Das. What do you mean new Das? There's Das. Das means that thing that watches everything. That thing that wants to better himself. The thing that wants to have more money. That thing. Not that thing. The thing wants to have more money is already processed in the body. But Das also wants money. He wants shefa. So we're going in, we're activating this. There's, if you in yoga, there's different things, like crazy things, how they activate different parts of the body. Move the hands, do this, do that, different things. It's like, it's funny. If I didn't learn Hasidus, I would think they're crazy. But I know they're onto something. I mean, they're moving. We also have the same thing. What do you think we're doing? You're activating your hands. The Esrei Koiches, bringing attention to the mind. You go with this, you go like this. If you want. This brings attention. The mind focuses in. Until now, you were all over the place, because if you want to start printing a 3D, you have to carve out the image in your head. Yeah, you're warm. You have to carve out the image in your head, but if I'm disconnected, then I whatever I see, it's a corrupted file, and that's what I print, and that's what comes back at me. So you want to be fully present, getting present with your das, getting present with yourself. Yeah, we'll give you time. Getting present with yourself, you're starting to velge the matzah. You're going to do the matzah. What are you doing when you're velging the matzah? You're activating this machine that we're about to go out of Mitzrayim. You're becoming mindful. You're becoming very timidly with your work. You're fully present. You don't need to understand. It's chita. You don't need to understand. You just do. With bittul. If I'm trying to chap what I'm doing, then you're not. You're getting in the way. Putting in the esekoiches, and then we're bringing in your creating a consciousness enveloped with the matzah. The intention, the more pure the intention is, the more possibilities possible with this matzah. Okay. So the matzah, so we have the fire, we have the water, we have the fire, the salt, and salt salts the gift, salts the bar, the ganze gift, jetzt wird am Mischung, es wird Kinder an der Schule. Because remember, an evil malach, an evil silver, an evil acher. So it doesn't have time for any type of illusions and different maluchim, different consciousness. The Alter says that every ilum is under the malach. In other words, he's not dealing with nothing. He's coming straight in. You become the fire, you become the zach, and you start processing chuf ba'is oisis, lushon hakodesh. The sprach was kein b'shaft. The sprach was b'shaft. The rest lushon hakodesh kennst du b'shaft. Now, don't try to bashav kiyan. That was a challenge. Try to bashav a new life for yourself, a new outlook, new possibilities, and the fire, whatever you're carving out, that's the Besmikdash Shlishi. That's the Besmikdash Shlishi, because the Besmikdash Shlishi got on fire, and this is can't because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you're turned on, you're turned on. Once it popped, the iceberg. You can't go back. You can have your struggles, but you know already, you're done. So that is Kobes Oisius. So du get around the Rebbe in the Gesef, Rebbe from the Nina Yama, and it's going to tell us how we can. It's the last piece. We have time, so we can go there too. Any questions? Yeah. What? Yeah. Of course, the darkness. That's what he's talking about. Oh no. No. Once you're open, you're present that there's a higher consciousness. There's something of value, something more value in life. So you're on the path now. How was Mavi? That's what he's talking about right now. What's that? Yes. No, but he wanted to know there's levels of correct, but the struggle is in like, you know what the truth is. Now you're struggling with how to climb the mountain. Yeah. Okay. What? He keeps on changing. Yes. Balachsen. Or you can climb the mountain this way. Or you can dig it from underneath. Yeah, that's down big. Is how we process it. Okay, so let's go over here. That the sailors being grief from Malachim. Hashem Shemahapkam as a mind, the Meshotas Kishimining is a spinner because they move the water, churn the water. The Hinek Kesif Koyim and Hashem Anosim B'Yam Derech Perish Kiyam Alma Diskaser Kishbich Anosim Derech Shichlan Hashem Slav Hashem. Meredofin Koyim Hashem Dr. Yishai Yanuvi Anosim B'Yam Derech. As the Abish was get a veik in a yam. Okay, there's a way to go. Why is it important? Because understanding that once you are popped originally, the first one, now you understand that as you're turning, you're not lost anymore. You know where you need to go to. You're just figuring out where you're going. It's important to know this. It's language. Because instead of being confused, like I'm not confused, I'm on my journey. I know where I want to get to, and I'm swimming. I'm going. The Neshumas came that again. Behind Aldeas finish Hamel of Hushim shall Torah mitzvahs. Sorry, back to Torah mitzvahs. There's the Shifim. Yeah, we can't do it. What after Torah mitzvahs? Mitzvahs, exactly. That's where he's making it very simple. Exactly. Hana Aldeas finish Hamel of Hushim shall Torah mitzvahs. Behem al Yudim mit Alam Bayam. Hana Haliyah mit Biyal Atzilus. Got Rafin Biyal Atzilus. Kamashkusu Bira Zoya Pashas Mishalach. Met all of Shesh Shumas and in Nuna Yama. So the Shumas have been grief from the Nuna Yama. There's an the Shimon Chavra, there's an the Nuna Yama. Just Shimon about it. So just so we understand, we have a little bit of understanding what Nuna Yama means. It means that the radar detector doesn't pick them up. They're not seen, they're not noticed. You can't see them. Can't see them. They're on a different frequency. They see, when they look at us, they see something else. They don't see a flash. They see potential. See the energy, and they see this is, this is the Nunayama. But derech met a maimesh is hier. Was er was gesagt, ich habe jetzt am Alma des Kas in der Shumas da Zilis. There's a Shumas von Zilis mit rausgeschleppt von dann unser geht warm dort mit rausgeschleppt. I can Shumas the Bia Shem ya Basha the Alma des Galia. The Shumas from Bia is from Alma des Galia. 1 second. What's Alma des Galia? This is Alma des Galia. You're exposed. You're fully exposed. You're vulnerable. Anything can tempt you. Anything can throw you off. You're fully vulnerable. So the Neshumas can show up again from Wasser. Ki imal de levushim shemanika arven. Dat is goed in de levushim was werden geriefen arven. Sailors. Shemanias halegen. Zij vielen zij trokken de Wasser. Als Shem ba'an Shem daf samachtas met gimel. Shezay aderech vive mosh b'tzeicha unen. Ba'an mashkus mezeh b'teire. Oy pas scheiße. Oy yes perish anosim b'yam. The noch perish. Anosim b'yam shu malchus. This is mal no. Anosim b'yam shu miloshen derech. Shemamshach boy hamshachem elamayla. is ook van de losse van derg van een week. Shemamshach boy. Ze is mamshach hamshach. Ze ziet zich melamala. Hana aledai is zo za. Shemamshach bechabat. Shebachach malub she'eran so. Continue going. Let's get to the points.
The difference between Amadas Kasa and Amadas Gali is like the difference between the fish and water and we here outside in the world.
Fish and water and the shara boat in the safari. Where the behind us?
So the
fish
and water it lives in one is reality is one. It's way one with the water than we are with the air.
Yeah, but listen to this. There you go. Listen to this. The fish in Wasser, he's fully one with the water. Like as a ganze body utem, that is the Wasser. Yeah. This is a bit of comment. Okay. They were never caught up. They never got caught up in the whole thing because they're unnoticed. He can't detect them. The under the zad, low frequency can't detect them. Right? Mabels and Shrinka Mabel about it, right? The Mabel and Shrinka was it. The fish. Yeah, that's the fish. Yeah, I think so. So in Zdu of the Welt, in the Bahamas Welt, we also have to get to a place just like the fish in water. Remember, they're in a fish thing, we're also in a fish thing. It's called oxygen. This is all the fish thing. There's just so much chomer levain and there's so much plague that I think I'm looking at this and I'm looking at that and my life has physical problems and I'm suffocating, when really if you let go of all that plague and you clean your das, clean off your the gland and you're just able to go into koyach hamadama here from the shtil and the tzitz, you're becoming one with breathing, one with malchus, with uretz. It's like that static as you walk, right? We don't just go from point A to point B. As you walk, there is this electricity that keeps moving. And the more you walk and you don't eat, the less matter you take up, and you just become smaller and smaller. So you need to feed it. And then that gives koyach to get transmitted, transformed into energy that you can walk and to move around and think. So the arbet is that we have to get. This is the sharban lavus. This is the showdown. The Muhammad, no, this is the sharban lavus. The sidus lavus, sharban lavus. That you're fighting with the sharabar. We're literally fighting with him. You're every day you surrender, you struggle, you're battling with your sharabar. You're making them smaller and smaller and smaller. Eating more high conscious food, so you raise your way of thinking. Your processor is able to process deeper and more. Now that is the Nayama, and that's our work to get in to do the same thing over here. To get invisible, to be in Yechida, to be in Achdus, and become invisible. That is the power of the matzah once again. The matzah is exactly that frequency. It feeds you that perfect food. Okay, Simchas Yom Tov, Busir, whatever works. It's not a mitzvah to overeat because then you can't process. And you're out for lunch. This is work. So the matzah, you have the arba koises, bina, right? Bina, and then you have the gevuras of chachma, is the chesudim of bina. Gevuras of chachma is the chesudim of bina. And bina, there's nothing more that bina can hubn. I'll explain what I'm saying in a minute. Don't lose yourself. The biggest nachas simcha that bina can hubn is to have simcha. The biggest accomplishment for bina is simcha. Like, what does that mean? Because when you're trying to understand something, you're struggling. When you finally get it, you're happy. Like, I got it. I'm simcha. That is bina, celebrate. So Yom Tov is ein mabun l'samay. Ubema b'yayim. So that is to becoming, again, learning the language. When you're feeling good after you accept something, don't just, that's my bina. My energy bina is now fully happy celebrating. So Yom Tov is where we give birth to that, and there's a simcha. So the yayin buser responsibly. I mean, the buser responsibly, the yayin irresponsibly. Yeah, you want to be. Remember, it's a process. It's a process. You want to be very present, and right? So again, it's kick when assuming with low conscience, but again, frimka. But really, what it is, it's like they want to talk at the time. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. But with the guy that's up in Chabad, whereas I'm thinking what's the Indian? Right? It's just like a hither, but the hither is that I wanted to be really strong wine to be able to process this vina, cracking the bread. You cannot understand kamashka. So you need something to get the job done. All right, let's go. Okay, so now what happens is okay, now let's go back up for 8. We're still good in time. No pressure. Till 10:15. It's 9:48. We're good. Yeah? Okay, so right. Flex some pressure on it. I'll tell you the truth, this was a very complex thing to this minor, but I really could have gone to the Matzah's Wuf, and I'm like, no, this is it. This is the Melech, and I think that we're talking about in energy language. You got this. You can understand what's happening here energetically. Really feeling it in the body. It's giving us the secrets here. The secrets of getting out of Mitzrayim. Toiris Bashem, Toiris Mashiach. It makes you think, like just to understand logically, it makes you think in a certain way, and that is the password and the code out of for where you need to be. Of course, everything else will fall into place. The panusa, the shefa, because once you're good, you're in shefa, right? This is what I wanted to say, projecting. Yeah, that's where I lost my before. It's important to say again. So 3D image, whatever I am, if I'm the more stable, the more present I am. When my das is connected, back to the matzah. That's where I got off of there. So I'm present. Now what I'm stamping, whatever you see in your life is what you're projecting. I can only see what I project, right? Because the same person today is good, morning of the never, even morning I can't, So what is that? That is the way you see it, the way your mirror is aligned. So I'm still pressing not something within me that I don't like, that I can't tolerate something over there. Or that thing is still triggering something within me, which once again, it shouldn't trigger you. You should be able to process it through. What's your issue with the issue? Okay, so you want to get to a 3D place that you can just stamp, and this happens passive. Right? The matzah, the eser koiches, you're bringing in das, mindful, and now you start just, if I'm happy with myself, I start projecting. And I start different things start showing up. Different opportunities start showing up. People start looking, oh, you changed. Yes, you changed too. And let's ground it. Right? You're not going to change your father. You're not supposed to change him. He's his. But by you changing all automatically, because remember something, if you're really that sophisticated, and you're a little more open-minded and more aware than the father, let's just say, if he's doing it unconsciously, then he's just doing it unconsciously. So if he's acting a certain way and I keep acting back to my mother the same way, so nothing's going to change. You're not changing here. And clearly you're stuck and you're hurting, you're broken. But what happens if you switch? And they start projecting, but you are now not responding the same way. So if they did it mindfully, consciously, then fine. But no parent is doing consciously harming a child, using it as a mutual. So as they're unconscious, so they sound out a signal, and instead of getting back this, now this comes back, a different signal. So it tries it once, twice, 3 times, and then automatically switches. As you now step into them, hi, I get work, and now you have a different relationship without having to fire a single bullet. So the matzah gives us that code. The matzah, emunah. Let's open it up a little bit more. Let's talk about emunah. Emunah is present. Present. It's the easiest way to say it, Emunah. Believe, glide, what means glide? Okay, just be present. Go to a place in the body where it doesn't hurt.
Open.
What?
Present open.
Present open.
Open.
Yes. Yeah. Open. Go with it. Go with it.
Oh.
Right. So that's that. Fine. Let's go back with the Mahalach. Yeah. So he created a way for us to okay, yes, thank you. So you're bringing back your parents to you, and this is how we start living. Because keep in mind something very important. Before I said, like, we have artificial technology now that we don't need it anymore. We can do stem cell that we can recreate, but I'll tell you, let's go back now. That shouldn't be scared. At the end of the day, the only thing that can charge you up is the thing that brought you in, that charged you in here to begin with. The only thing that can empower you is that thing that brought you into this world. Because they have the perfect temperature and the perfect ingredients to trigger you. Look, mommy didn't say this, and it's all bent out of shape. And most of the struggles that you're having is because your creators never gave you permission to be. Because nobody gave them permission to be. Because it was coming from like this. So it was it was survival. So now you're walking around and you're hurting, you're suffocating. Not hurting, you're suffocating. Because you're waiting you want to move, but it's like, but really, when Tati will do go get it, I'm right behind you. I'm with you. Okay, go conquer. Who's going to stop you? So the problem is they're broken. They can't give it. No judgments. We're here. And if they did give it to you, then fine. But some didn't get it. So that's why we have this, that we do this work. With Hasidus, you can empower each other. And then you can give them back. Because how much pain is a parent that they can't free their child? Imagine how much pain they have to be. So that is the so now we have Bayam Derech Menatzeres Balachak, Shviz Besikis, Vahana Aldesh, Vahana Aldesh, Azai, Nimshuk Derech Havai. Kibatzeres Emat Teure, Vadezana Savyam Derech. Through Torah, wird ausgegrut Aveg. You find your way through learning Torah. But word is out there, Mashal was on mitzvah tzrichs kavona. A mitzvah daf kavona. Vayne kam razak. You couple of olma cheshman. Tchil akach couple of oil mitzvahs. Koyd olma cheshman. First, know who's your allegiance to. Who do you belong? Who are you with? Who are you with? Who's you? They're okay. The banayit, the banachuzit. Okay, good. Chuzit, by the way, means being a mensch. Means being a mensch, being mindful. That's Kabbalah Semal Chashaman. A couple of oil mitzvahs. Then you can start doing oil mitzvahs. Anything and everything you're doing is a mitzvah, anyways. All you got to bring is kavuna. Now you bring becoming mindful, because a mitzvah is a string that's connected, and we have 613 body parts connected, 613 even. The Malka, 613 mitzvahs. Yeah? So every time you do a mitzvah, you activate that parachute. You're flying. Like we're hovering, we're flying. And every time you do a mitzvah, you have another string on your parachute, and you're flying stronger and more confident and more powerful. There are these big parachutes, these huge ones, which are Shabbos, Bris, film. There's the big ones. Okay. So every one of them is a parachute. So through mitzvahs, you start holding by bringing mindfulness to what you're doing. I'm doing this because I am a part of this creation. I represent something. I hold a frequency. I hold a machine that can process a very high frequency. I can actually change my Seviva. I can change the world by just being, because I know I speak Kuvbez Oises, Chavlush HaKodesh, I have Aleph Beis, which is Lush HaKodesh. It means Yiddish also, as long as it's Aleph Beis. You have this in your brain. What that means is that you think in these letters. And those were the letters that created the world. So, Das, knowing, becoming present. Right? I know myself, be present with yourself, a proper 3D image. and then get to work. And then the more B'yom Derech, which is 30 mitzvahs, the more mindful you are, the freer you are. It's probably a whole different thing here too. I didn't get into it. It's something maybe I'll work over Yom Tov and I'll share if something comes, because I think it's an important thing over there. So the sailors during Grif Malochem, because they spin the water. So too over here. Remember, you keep turning, you keep moving, creating energy, you're riding the waves. Okay, we're getting to the end over here. It's an important piece because we want to get to the Yabasha. And then they Nina Yamas, I bring in the steps, they do all their yichidim in their language. Elias b'yam darkecha, as do avek yam. So now we down here, so we can climb this ladder like they're doing yichidim, kavunas, yichidim, and what that looks like, that we can actually have the koyach to bring in oneness and presence and edishter into here in Legoville. So so we have Shefa down here. That's when I was Makashas on the tzaddikim and medavan, because they know how to bring up the tefillas. Now, when we going into there's another level that you're walking in the Yabashim. That's Kriyas Yamsuf. And that's where we're going in Shvir Pesach. So there's no, you just fully, you're in there, you're walking in the Yabashim, which means that the Yam is also it's Kriyas Yamsuf, and you're walking through, and you have clarity, you know exactly what you're walking through an X-ray machine. Zeg steak, that's the S in the matzah. You have to do the process. But Yom Shvi Atzeres Lashem Alakecha. Yom Shvi is Atzeres for Yom Shvi. And this is where it's the Eshta Matzah is Unavuf, and the Zweite Matzah is Mitavuf. The Wuf is the Zek Smidas, which is the heart. The heart. Once you have to go through the process every day, counting already. The Omer, starting to bring it into the body, and the Eshta Chachma got through an Alamidas Befrat in the Eshta, which is in the Chasudim, which is Alas Chachma. So we're having full week of processing Chachma. So this is Anas Yam Derech the Kol Kriyas Yam. Fine, this is that. Then I want to tell a story that I heard actually last night. It was Farbreng for Yudal of Nissen. They're having a Farbreng. The Yudal of Nissen is the Lubavitcher's Yom Levis. It's a very, very big day today. So we have. Why is it so big? It's so big because if not for him, we would all be stuck somewhere, stressing out about what suit I'm going to have for Pesach. So today, so he was born today, and there's a story from Mendel Futterfast, which was a big mashpia in Lubavitch. What was his yichus? He was a Yidam Sears Never. He saved many wagons of Chassidim and Yidam smuggled out. And he was a big chassid himself. I mean, he had open eyes. I mean, if he was here, it would have been a Rebbe. These are Rebbe status. They're no joke. So he was sentenced to Siberia for 20 years. And there's many stories how he managed to go to the mikveh every Rosh Hashanah. I mean, he was working it. He was busy. So what happened? He actually went on a bris with the Rebbe Tzereba. Let me just make the connection, right? The Rebbe Tzereba, they went to a bris, and he called their men to help him out. And what happened is that there was this KGB's wife came to the Rebbe and said, I will tell him that but the man can is risen. Right? That's the story. Man can is risen. So he came home and the Rebbe said, with the guys for it. I said, sure you got when I'm in the KGB, it's like suicide. It's it. I get off a message. I get off a rusting message. What's going to message? We got Ennis van Sirius Never, so she's all the way up in Miracle. I picked over a Mendel's guy by the gets it in a schnat, and the kid almost died because there was an infection, was a whole thing. Whatever happened, anyways, they ran out, and he asked him. Mendel asked him, "They were in Sarajevo. Du wirst gehen als Eroi." Meine verstehe, ja, Mina, aber wie ist gehen als Eroi? Du was gesehen, aber du noch, du bist das alles zusammen sehen. So dann gesagt, okay, ich kann schon mit dir. Ich sehe schon noch. So what I mean? Of course he saw, but I shouldn't say this about them and talk like this. But they were not Rebbes. They didn't have permission to be there. They were like they're Hasidim of Vatals and Rebben, and that's Chabad. That's what Chabad gives you absolute bittul, which is the bitter of the Behemoth. It's the bitter of the Behemoth. Is bittul is there's a lot of bittul happening throughout by Farbrengens. So they sent the matzah from home. They sent the matzah one Pesach from home, and he ate half of it. Okay, remember this is Siberia. We're talking about food, the tzimtzum, it's bitter cold and all that. It's not simple. It's you were there, you were sentenced to death. I mean, there wasn't not many came back from there. So he ate half, and the other half he put away just in case next year he won't be able to have matzah. So he put away that. Now, how do you hold matzah over there? You're talking about you're in Siberia in a prison. You leave that out, it's going to be gone. And it's not. You have to watch the matzah. Okay. So he had it in his pocket. But even there was once a week that they had to shower. So it was Tippman. So he found the biggest guy in his cell over there in his place, and he would give him half of his food. So when he goes to the shower, he was reliable enough to watch the matzah, so that shouldn't get wet. So he would give away the little food that he had. He would split with him. If it was that day or every day, I understood it was every day, but then I thought about it, probably only that day. And this is how I protected the matzah. So here we're talking about understanding. This is not, once you learn Hasidus, it's not some like a private Fremdkeit. And what is Fremdkeit? Fremdkeit is powerful stuff, but the kavanah behind it, you know very well that this piece of matzah is what gets him to stick it into the next Tatzilus. Whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. He gets him into where he needs to get this consciousness. And he's like, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that from my end, I have my ticket. This is my ticket for next year. So this is what we're doing here tonight. So we're going out of Mitzrayim. It's opening up. The Kira Basil's opening. The curtain, the blind spots, the blindness, it's opening. You can start seeing. And there's people get together, Chabiris, Pesach machen Chabiris. We can zusammen essen Chabira. So this is a Chabira. And this Chabira is wants to get out of Mitzrayim. You want to get out of Yom Mitzrayim. Somebody that needs a Refiya, Yeshia, yourself. Yourself. First yourself. Take care of yourself. Go in there with the matzah and really activating yourself. Dogging the matzah to understand there's no ego there. And innocence, it's doing that. Just listen to this. This is the Duggan, the little child when he says Abba, he doesn't know why he's saying that. Just do it, and then watch what happens. That's all of a sudden you speak differently, you understand different stuff. You have you're pulled to different things. Don't worry, it's not changing your life, but it's changing your life. You're pulled to different things means that finally, when you're feeling this yearning and this anxiety that you're constantly fahakt over there, this anxiety, now you feel, this is where it's pulling me. I didn't realize, I thought that it's pulling you out. It's pulling you out. But simply doing it with the dreams, eating dugan, getting the matzah, putting it in the fire, being there, holding space for others, being present, being mindful. Simple about that will change your way of thinking and the way you speak. and you will find peace within yourself. We are in metal. If you, we're going to close with this. If you ever did any, cleaning your body, trying to get into a healthier way of eating, which is ultimately going to change the way you think, the body's full of metals. The body's full of metals from the food, and from the stress, from the pressure, the pollution. It's full of metals, intentional injection. Now, these metals, they control you. You can't think straight. You have noise in your head. And estin, metal, bekel, all is metal. Everything is metal. And the metal pulls. We're not going to get too spooky with it. But yeah, they're pulling. Of course it's pulling. You think, let's put it into simple color. The news, Facebook, everything that pops up is pulling you. The TV is pulling you. Your metals are pulled. The guy that doesn't have the metals is not pulled so fast. Or at all. So it all starts with that. I'm going to pull you out. Nobody was able to get out of Mitzrayim. No David was ever able to get out of Mitzrayim. I'm sure you heard that before. What does that mean? They didn't have stations. They didn't have border checkpoints. It's simple. In your head, they were stuck in those, just like we all are stuck in the head. Even if you already know the truth, you're still stuck, because at the end of the day, I have to comply with what Google says. I have to do this. I have to work so and so to be able to pay my bills, and this is what I need to want, nice things like that in order to fit in. You're still stuck, but with the matzah, that opens up that stuckness. And you no longer have a shivet the potter that you need what he tells you need. You're not pulled anymore. The magnet, you drop it, and now it gets kind of schlepping. You're already here. Paisa finishes, you're already here. And he sends out his signals, he's pulling, but he's not catching you. All it is, he's cleaning you more because you're already up here. So he's pulling down whatever is left. So L'Shem Matzah's mitzvah, we should have this year a Pesach. We should be able to tap into the tmimut, innocence, to the little child's imagination. The little child imagination. He's imagining colors, he's imagining going to Israel, he's imagining all types of stuff, like Gam with Afikoyman. What's in your Afikoyman? Gam with Afikoyman and ask. Ask, go inside, open yourself up, and allow it to become a magnet for Yechidah, become a magnet for mindfulness. Enough with the pain, enough with the lies. It's a lie. So let's step into this. Yeah, go. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do that after you also. Yeah, fine. Go.
So that's the originator from all idea that's the long idea. Okay, it's last year to hit that. And also for I thought
Yeah, thank you, Farbreng. Yeah, thank you, Farbreng, for reaching out originally to initiate this. Thank you, Matthew. And thank you, Ashley, you're going to lead us over there? What? No? Fine. I'm saying thank you also. Okay. There's always something else to be said. All right. Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah, Ning, was doing Ning. Very good, Ning. Ning, du? Ning? Yes. Yeah.
The matzah process us just as much as we process the matzah. Umbrella the matzah, the matzah works on us. Connects. It's milk with all the matzah, it's fresh from the sauce. It's out of it. That's in the body. Matzah is so important, but we need it all year. It's good out of the question. So medicine. Once you're healthy, you can go out and eat whatever you want. There's the law for medicine.
Right.
I'm thinking
there's anything you can do more, soil, this person's machal for a cat, and there's no need basically the only time it's happening, you'll see. It's happening through the muscles. The only business I have only have matzah. And Matzah said that because we only have matzah, all the questions are in matzah. Matzah today is more powerful than matzah lost. And the way it's is it's not have an extra separate existence. It's following to start doing much of the so see it, see it. Maybe in the matzah, it's not see it, see it. I was thinking that things go down. See it.
Wow.
Find a place. That's it. It's part of this. It's whatever that means. I get to the shut. I get to the schmitz. As a form of abuse in the child. Who's it said that the Chab is so to this. The abuse in the child are going to be so also fighting. Also means surround. Surround each other and so they come closer, more warm. So using the sweat is fighting with the energy around. It's getting matter and matter.
Wow.
I guess connected. That's why the sweat is specific.
Right, let's go back once. So